What's going on, guys? I am Mr. Deranged. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, make sure to click the subscribe button. Have you been missing a sock lately? You do your laundry and it magically disappeared? Well, it didn't. I stole it. It's not hiding in the dryer. There's no sock monster. I'm the sock kidnapper. And if you want your sock back, you're going to have to click subscribe. That's the only way I'm going to return your sock unmatched and clean. We are going to be checking out Tool Schism. The great and wonderful Tilt-A-Whirl requested this song, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. It was a thing. Okay, so we were having a... You see, so we were randomly talking the other day about Tool, and the song came up because they were going to be at Sonic Temple, which we did not stay and watch. We didn't stay and watch Tool, but we did listen to them from our hotel because our hotel was close enough to where we could actually hear them. So on the walk back to our hotel, we could hear Tool. Anyways, we were talking about Tool, and I never realized what the song Schism was about, which is insane because I can play it on the guitar, just only like the first like 3 or 4 notes, but I can play part of the song on the guitar, and I've never even known what the song is about. So we were talking about the song and realizing what the song was actually about, and I was asked to do a reaction. So here it is. All right, so couple things here. One, it's going to be so hard for me to read these lyrics. There's going to be words that I can't enunciate. And 2, I've never seen this music video, ever. All right, so he says, I know the pieces fit because I watched them fall away, mildewed and smoldering, fundamental difference, pure intention, juxtaposed, which I had to look up what that meant, and it says it's a verb that means to place 2 or more things side by side or close together. Will set 2 lovers' souls in motion, disintegrating as it goes, testing our communication. So obviously the pieces fit is like a jigsaw puzzle that's like trying to come together, or a puzzle in general. I say jigsaw because it's harder. A jigsaw puzzle is a lot harder. So it's a puzzle trying to get put together. I watched them fall away, so the pieces are just falling apart and not being able to stick together anymore, and it's mildewed and smoldering, so it's just falling apart and rotting and on fire. And then the 2 things are the 2 people or lovers or whatever these things are. I've never seen this. that are side by side constantly, and it's testing them and what their boundaries are and what they can talk about and what they can't talk about so far. This is fucking weird, man. Their like feet are coming up through like this floor thing. Like, I don't know what this is. I've never seen this, and it's just super weird. I don't understand what is happening. Is like drawing lines in the sand with his mind or his head, or is it sand? Like, what? I don't know what's going on there. It says the light that fueled our fire then has burned a hole between us, so we cannot seem to reach an end, crippling our communication. So something has driven them so far apart. Or the light that fueled our fire then has burned a hole between us. That's crazy. So what made you fall in love with one another has now burned a hole in between you two that you can't seem to reach an end, and it's crippling your communication. That's fucked up. Like, why would that be a thing? Why would what caused you to fall in love with one another be burning a hole in between the two of you? So he says, I know the pieces fit. So himself, he is saying that he knows the pieces fit. So regardless of how they both feel, he knows the pieces fit, and he knows that there's a way out of this and a way to put everything back together. He says, because he knows, because he watched them tumble down, no fault, none to blame. So it's nobody's to blame here. They've just kind of grown apart. To point the finger, blame the other, watch the temple topple over. So if you start placing blame on one another about why the relationship is in the funk that it's in, then that's just going to cause more problems, and then the temple is definitely going to topple over. So like the it's all figurative, like the temple, the pieces, the jigsaw, like all of that is just figurative speech, obviously. But it's going to cause everything to just fall apart by doing that. And then he's saying to bring the pieces back together, rediscover communication, which is a huge thing in relationships, is that there's just lack of communication with one another, whether it be you pissed me off for this reason, or I bought this thing, but I didn't tell you that I bought this thing until after I bought it. So you're just going to have to deal with it. Like, that's a communication problem amongst a lot of people. There's just so many different variations of communication, and communication is like a huge issue amongst relationships. Like, constantly there's just lack of communication. And so I love the fact that he's like, you can bring the pieces back together as long as we rediscover our communication. Just fucking love that part. Pieces back together, rediscover communication. few things here. This is fucking crazy. I've never seen this music video. So they said something about rediscovering communication, but then they say the poetry that comes from the squaring off between and the circling is worth it, finding beauty in dissonance, which I also looked up. Dissonance, a fundamental lack of harmony, agreement, or consistency. Whether it is clashing notes in a melody or conflicting moral values in your head, dissonance creates tension and usually complies you to seek a resolution. So the poetry that comes between us, the squaring off between and the circling, usually means fights. Like, I think of like the UFC. They're in that octagon, and they'll circle for a bit before they start fighting. Boxing, kickboxing, like all sorts of like actual fighting is always just in a circle. So it's a revolving door, and the poetry isn't poetry. It's just yelling and fighting, and all of that has to happen, is what he's saying, because you got to find the beauty in the dissonance, which means a fundamental lack of harmony, agreement, or consistency, but it compels you to seek a resolution. So whether that resolution is good or bad, it compels you to seek one. So all the yelling and fighting is actually a necessary thing that we have to do in order for us to get like the anger out and the frustration out. But it's still a form of communication. It's just not a healthy form of communication. But to find the resolution to that is what's important. And he says, I know the pieces fit, but I watched them fall away, mildewed and smoldering, strangled by our coveting, which I looked up is the act of excessively desiring or craving something that rightfully belongs to someone else, often rooted in a lack of contentment. It is an inwardly focused emotion that can manifest as jealousy or resentment. This song is so fucking deep. It really is. It's so catchy with the tune of everything, and the way that he sings it is more like it's almost like directly speaking to you, more than it's vocally sung, if that makes sense. I've known the math enough to know the dangers of our second guessing, doomed to crumble unless we grow and strengthen our communication. So once again, back to communication. So whether it be on jealousy or resentment from somebody's, so like my wife made more money than me for a very long time. And I don't know if she does still or not. I don't care. I got to a point. So in the beginning of our relationship, it was very important to me to make more than her. But she went on and she did better things than I did, and got to a point where she made a lot more and I was making less. And that bothered me for a long time. And now it's something that I just don't care about. But the coveting is, that resentment or jealousy. And that's where I had the jealousy from, is that type of thing where I was just like, God, what can I do to make more than her? I should be making more. I should be doing this, like that whole manly thing. You should be the breadwinner. You should be bringing home the money, like type thing. It's not like that anymore. It's not like that. It doesn't matter who it is, because it's a partnership or between, the two of you. So that part shouldn't matter. It should be whoever. There shouldn't be that resentment or jealousy between the two of you. You should be able to communicate those type of things. Like, I think that if I would have said, hey, this really bothers me, nothing would have been done about it. She would have just been aware. And that would have been me communicating that, it bothered me, but I never said anything. I just, kind of let that fester and then fester and fester and fester. And nothing ever really came of that. It's not like I ever like flipped out and was like, I'm so mad that you're more successful than I am. Like that was never a thing. I think I just learned how to deal with that and realize that nowadays aren't like back then. What I'm getting at is that you shouldn't be jealous or resent one another for somebody else's achievements, because the only reason that those people achieved what they achieved is because you guys were in a partnership to begin with, and you helped each other out and raised each other up. Putting each other down isn't going to do anything for either one of you, and that you should always raise each other up and hold each other up and be proud of each other and not resent each other or be jealous of each other's accomplishments, because chances are, for me, I would have never accomplished my goals in my life that I've accomplished without her supporting me. It's that simple. Like, I know that she was there and she had to do all this other stuff and take all these sacrifices, the same sacrifices I made, in order to achieve what I wanted to achieve. This is very good and deep poetic song. I absolutely love it. I've done the math well enough to know the dangers of our second guessing, so never second guess each other. They're doomed to crumble if you do, unless we grow. So hold each other up, like I was just saying, and like strengthen that. You know, like I said, strengthen our communication. It's something that you're always going to be working on in a relationship, is always being better at communicating with one another. It's never super simple, because there's some things that you just don't want to say to one another because you don't know how you're going to take it, if it's going to be worse. You know, it's like that whole thing, like with the making money or whatever. Nothing good would have ever come from me complaining about that, because it would have just been a complaint. Obviously, I don't want her to quit her job if she makes more money. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It was a personal issue with only myself. It had nothing to do with anything else. Now, there would have been an issue, and this is where you could have, communicated, is if she were to go around and say, haha, I make more money than you, then that would be very poor taste of your spouse to be that way and to degrade you in front of others. That would be very, very poor, which I've seen a ton of, which is very poor and pathetic. Then that's where you need to strengthen your communication and be like, hey, you shouldn't be talking about this. We shouldn't be talking about this. Like, this is bad and it hurts me. So don't do this type thing. Anyways, I hope that was a very long and drawn out like explanation of this one short, but that just shows you how deep this song is if you actually sit down and pay attention to the lyrics and think about them. Like, this song is so fucking deep. Before it gets too far, he says, cold silence has a tendency to atrophy any sense of compassion. Atrophy is the partial or complete wasting away, shrinking, or reduction in size of cells, tissues, or organs. So when they pulled that piece out, I think that's the evilness, resentment, or jealousy of the other, and threw it down on the ground, and it like spawned up and became like just teeth and like a monster, and then just ran away. And so I think that was part of the resentment, and they're pulling that out and getting rid of it. And then they say between supposed lovers after this. And now I just am super interested in how this is going to end. If it's going to end happily, or if there's going to be like a big message at the end or not. Like I said, I have not seen this video, so I'm very interested. All right, so that was Tool Schism. This song was so much deeper. It was so much deeper than what I thought. Like, I've always been able to just like sit there and sing along with the song and just like really get into it and like love the sound of the guitar, and like the way that he's saying it was just so incredible, because it wasn't like vocally interesting. It was just the way that he like sang it to you, like told you like the story while this was all going on. I don't really understand the ending of what happened there, if they became like one, or if their unhappiness and evil had forced them to become one, because she kept tearing like those things away and she threw them on the ground, but then they came back even stronger and like took over, and then they like, it was almost like their relationship was formed from evil rather than formed from love. And I think that's what he means by between supposed lovers. But I don't know. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down in the comments. If there's another Tool song that I should go and check out, maybe one that corresponds with this one that I don't know about. I don't know that much about Tool. I think everybody's heard Schism and a couple other songs, but that's probably about it. So let me know what you guys think about this song. Your thoughts, interpretations on it. Was I far off? Was I right? Was I wrong? Whatever it be, let me know down in the comments. And then if there's another Tool song that you want me to check out, let me know that as well. And I will see you on the next one. Bye. Bye.